You turned your phone down?
Yeah, it's
Mr. Director. Welcome back to Slow Readers Anonymous, where we buy more books than we can read in a lifetime. It's your girl, Coley Cole, back at it again. So this time we are at my brother's house yet again. Look at the scenery. Changes all the time. Boom, boom. Anyhow, because I keep so many books. I can't have my books that I have that I love so much that I would read it all over again. And so I just kind of took over his house and said, hey, I'm putting a bookshelf in your house. Deal with it. And he said, oh, okay. But he got three books on it. So he's got The Last Ronin up there. I don't know if you can see. And then down here, he's got 2 books that he took 10 years to even do. Yeah. Didn't even crack these suckers open. These are more like true crime stories. He's a true crimer. He's a thriller man. And we trying to work on him and get the actual physical books, but he's an audio book kind of dude. Anyhow, book recommendations. We're gonna do books this time that have to do with race and also true events that were also in books. Some of the books that I have are, well, most of them are true events that have been inputted into fiction books. Then there's also the books that are dealing with race as part of the subplot of the book. And then there's just one that gets me every single solitary time. And I didn't realize it was part of a trilogy. So we're gonna roll right into it. First up would be the tried and true Night by Eli Wiesel. This man has survived Auschwitz and all them different camps over there back in the day. This is an actual nonfiction, his firsthand account of what happened to him while he was in the concentration camps. Boohoo cried every single time. Survival, everything. He was split up between from his mom and his sisters, and he ended up going through the camp with his dad. And you gotta read it. I mean, I cry real tears. I cried real tears every time. And this is the one that I didn't realize was part of a trilogy. So, with my teacher appreciation money that I got from my gift cards, I'm going to get the last 2 books. So this one is his firsthand actual account. The second one and the third one is more of like a historical fiction about, I believe it was for the things that happened around that time, and him going through his healing process after the fact, and him going through the people within his community, things like that. So this first one was called Night. The other one is called Dawn, and then Day. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be in a future video. For sure. Again, Night by Eli Wiesel. Almost called him Iwasi. Butchering names. And I already know this name, hey? So sad. Anyhow, moving on. The next one is called Day of Tears by Julius Lester. Now this legit happened in Georgia. This is an auction that happened in, Lord help me. All I can see is the ring light. This was an auction in, I want to say somewhere near Savannah, maybe Macon, Georgia. Could be even close to Augusta, Georgia, or whatever. Anyhow, a slave owner, and he had to start selling all his slaves and stuff. So he went and they did this real big auction, and it poured down rain. It was a big event, like a couple of days of an event, and it poured down raining the whole entire time. And that's why they call it the Day of Tears. It should have been Days of Tears. But this book is a historical fiction, so it has like the actual real life event, but also a fictional way of telling of what happened to actual slaves that were sold there. So a slave of Pierce Butler and a caretaker of his 2 daughters, and Pierce, a man with a mounting gambling debt and a household to protect. So he was about to get lost, his land and stuff, so he had to sell a whole bunch of slaves. So if you into it, read it. But again, a good one. Cried real tears. I was so sad. So sad. Ghost Boys by Jewel Parker Rhodes. This book had me in real tears. It had me crying. It was like, woohoo, wow. So we're gonna read the back of the book, and I'll tell you stuff happened. Anyhow, 12-year-old Jerome is the latest victim, shot by a white police officer who mistakes his toy gun for a threat. As a ghost, he observes the devastation that has been unleashed on his family and community in the wake of what they see as an unjust and brutal killing. This boy walks around and he's seen by a little girl. Just happens to be a white girl. And so this is basically in effect using things that actually happened, like Emmett Till. They use his name. They use Mr. Gardner's boy's story and give it a name of someone else. And they use like a lot of things that happened recent and in the past of wrongful killings by police officers, and they mention Trayvon Martin type stories. So in this, they basically say that these ghost boys are being seen by people who can affect change. So that's their purpose of them walking the earth and being seen by others. So again, really good book. 5 out of 5 stars. I would read it again, but it's going to be a while. I'm going to have to forget about it because real tears were cried. Ghost Boys. Really good. This one is called Come Home Safe by Brian butchering names again. There is no R after the B with the Bruckmeyer. It's not Bruckmeyer, it's Buckmeyer. Brian Buckmeyer. Come Home Safe. This is good. It's great for your teenage boys and your teenage girls, your brown and black people. This gives you information or a way to start a conversation for how you should deal with the police. In this book, this young man is accosted by cops. Just assume that he is up to no good because he's walking around in a hoodie. And granted, a hoodie is needed because he's in New York. Okay? He's in New York. It's cold. He needs a hoodie. Anyhow, his dad's a lawyer and he's already had the talk. He's walking his little sister home and all this other stuff. So it gives you tips and things on how to talk to your young men and women who are brown and black in our community. And it touches on a lot of other subjects too, but that was the main event of the book. Main point. Very good. Come Home Safe. Next book that touches on race, but on God, hand to God, this is a good book. You must read 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, however many stars you want to get to the rating. The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I ain't even have to look at the thing. That's how I know her name. You better say her name. Know her name. Tiffany Jackson. Maggie is the main character. She happens to be halvesies. She's a mixed baby. And so she lives in a predominantly white town. And the predominantly white people live on one side of the town. And the other side is the lower and lower class people. Now, when I tell you they be life and stuff, they still had separate proms. And they had cell phones and stuff in this town. I mean, come on now. Get up with the times. Come on with it. But this one, read it. Read it so good. It's a YA horror. At most you gonna get is a little couple of killings, okay? Really good, really great book. Last but not least, The Crime de la Crue. Oui, yes. It's called. Now, I don't want to jack up her name. I'm gonna try. It's called Children of Blood and Bone. I adore this book. I could read this book over and over and over again and still not get tired of it. Okay, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. If you want to get the correct pronunciation, go ask Google. Thank you. Children of Blood and Bone. This book touches on race, it touches on the slaves and all this other stuff. But this one, they come out swinging out the gate like, no, we fighting oppression, okay? This is fantasy, this is historically fiction, and they throw in race, and they throw in all this other stuff, they throw in all the black on black stuff, and must read it. I don't know what else to tell you. She's magical. The main character is a magic lady. And Zele, I love Zele. I might be jacking up her name because she's an African name. And Zele Edebola, she is a magical person, and her mom is like a reaper. They call them reapers. She can control the dead. Okay. Enough said. That's all you need to do. Know that she is doing a dang on thing with a dang on thing. And it's kind of like a Last Airbender, but African. Okay? So, please read this book. There's a second book. There's going to be a third book coming out called Children of Anguish and Anarchy. I can't tell y'all all about all the books after this one because, I'm going to be ruining it for you. And, it gives everything. It has love. It has loss. It has highs. It has the lows. You're rooting for people. And don't get attached to nobody because people are dying. Why? It's so sad. But it's so good. You go through all the feels in these books. And they thick. She thick. But I read them all. And we'll read them again. And I bought the third book, special edition. Your girl spent money on it, okay? Painted edges and everything, okay? She gonna be pretty. And once I get that book, everything else I read in goes on pause, because I read nothing else. But that's it for today, y'all. Let me put this back before she mess up my editorial staff. I need to put this back pretty. Okay. But that's all today with the reviews. It's your girl, Coley Cole, signing off Slow Readers Anonymous, where we buy more books than we can read in a lifetime. But the ones we do get, they be hitting it, they be fire. Peace.